Hello, everybody. NC4XL, North Carolina for Extreme Lovers. And for those of you folks that are watching the video, trying to understand the title of it, and you don't know me, I'm nobody special, but you might see my cup every once in a while. When I get ready to go out to do an activation, 2 cups means it's going to be a good day, and by that I mean length of time, or 1 cup might be a quick activation. But anyways, this activation report or thought process or idea has come from a period of time of activating. I've got a few activations under my belt. You hunters on the other side of this video are vitally important. You play a major role for each one of us, that when we go out to do what we do, that we get the enjoyment of it along with you, and the contacts that we need to complete the activation. So as you start working, hunters, as you start working your activators, take you a piece of paper, start writing their call signs down on a little piece of paper. I want to follow this one. I want to follow this one. I want to follow this one. I actually want you to follow us all. But the thing is, you'll find ones that you want to work better. You know their quality of their station. You know their consistency of going out. And put them on Ham Alert. Download the Ham Alert program and set the triggers up for their call sign, and get notified when they walk and roll. You know they're there, and go work them. Work them on any and all bands. Work them on any and all modes that you do. But go work the activator. Us activators are dependent upon you. So some of the things I'm going to say here might be rough around the edges, and please do not take it. It's not aimed at any particular call sign or person. It's just a thought process. As we get older in time, we start thinking about making things more proficient. How can I be better? How can I improve? Whether it's an activator like me or a hunter like me, and did you hear what I said? A hunter like me. I hunt from the house. I got an antenna 20 feet up in the air. Thank you, Chris, for the tactical antenna, 10 through 40. It's all I use. But I hunt. And I have to learn the activators. I have to learn their style. Okay? I have to learn when to get in. See, some folks, and now here we get rough. Some folks have a beam. They have a KW. Okay? They have a big coffee table or lounge chair, and if they drink beverages, they have all the fancy stuff, 2 or 3 monitors, and the spotting page is up, and they're working the activators, just having a ball. But us activators, sometimes we're lucky if we have internet. Sometimes we're so lucky that the sun is so blinding on our equipment that it's hard to see the glare. And some of us activators are crazy enough to use a laptop or device where the sun is glaring or the battery cooks up and dies, and we get frustrated. Or even worse, we get to a park after driving 2 hours. I left the battery cable at the house on the counter next to the coffee cup. Yeah, I forgot. Been there, done that. Many of us activators can share many stories on things that we have created traveling to a park. Some of us use 4-wheel drive to get there. Some of us think it's 40 degrees outside, and we get there, it's 22 degrees. Some of us didn't bring the hand warmers to keep the hands warm, and the equipment doesn't want to function because the weather's too cold or it's too rainy outside. Us activators, we're out there, but guess what? We need you. We need you in your professional code of conduct. How you operate as a hunter from your residence. Okay. Several different activators operate several different styles, and as a new hunter, you will learn by listening. Here's a dirty word, listening to how the operator, the activator, is handling their activation. Their activation, not you coming in and controlling it and thinking you're KW and repeating your call 4, 5, 6 times over the top. When somebody asks for a VRO and you go over an X-ray Lima, I didn't ask for an X-ray Lima, I said VRO, and you go back and you put your call in there VRO because you don't hear the X-ray Lima, but the activator is trying to hear the X-ray Lima, but you're being very unprofessional, jumping the gun, okay? That's what we're referring to. Some activators will work you to get you out of the way, but I'll guarantee you, a lot of them, you're not getting in their log when you're rude. You may think you are. And I'll be honest with you, if I've got a lid like that that's so obnoxious, they're not going to be in my log. I'm not in for a race to get the most numbers. I meet fine people, fine hunters that have courtesy and respect for one another. If I ask for QRP, I don't expect you to run your 1,000 watts or your 500 watts or even QRO. If I ask for QRP or the next activator asks for QRP, go back and be QRP. Every contact that an activator gives you, the hunter, does not make a paycheck, does not produce anything in the mail. It's a contact between you and them. It's a friendship that develops between you and them. And you're the example, as a hunter you are, to other non-amateur radio people. That's called spouses, children. Okay? How you act as a hunter in pileups to see if you can be number one. It doesn't get you anything except the contact. And for some of us activators, we're struggling just to get 10 contacts. Propagation for the last month has been very rough, very rough. And you need to understand that with the conditions being poor, we want every contact, but sometimes unruly hunters, unprofessional, with no code of ethics at all, come in and we're trying to work, and I know you can't hear the QRP station where you're at. You're 400 miles from us, but we're trying to work that. And it's just like when I say VRO, the station with VRO only, and somebody with XL jumps in there. And I say, XL, please stand by, the station with VRO only. And so I'm waiting for the VRO station to be heard. And XL jumps in again. XL is not going to get in the log. I'll work them publicly. That don't mean you're going to be in the log, because that kind of rudeness from somebody who's not going to get a paycheck because of it or get something to put on the wall because of it doesn't go along good with a lot of us that are activators. And until you become an activator, you probably have no earthly idea why I'm not complaining. I'm trying to educate people to understand that activator is doing the best that they can with their conditions where they're at. And most of the time, you hunters are in a nice, controlled environment with some of the niceties of beams and power. Or if you're like me, as a hunter, I hunt from the car. I turn left, I lose the signal. I turn right, I lose the signal. If I go straight, I got them. Now that's why you will find me as a hunter tell people I'm mobile, because I'm subject to change due to my surroundings too. But I don't have the fancy things, and I'm not complaining. That's what you have to understand as a hunter at home. The activators, every different activator you work is different. They operate different. Some of them you can tell they're operating from a laptop or a device because they're waiting for the name to show up so they can call you by your name. When people call me David, I know they're looking at a laptop. I'm not David, I'm Dom. I'm the darling old man. But when they call me David, I know they're looking on QRZ or whatever software they use that brings up the database. Okay? I don't worry about that from me, myself, and I. I go out, I write down your call, and I try to learn and memorize it when I go back to putting it in the log at home. I like to paper log. Okay? You're hunters. I love it when you work me. Because otherwise, why in the world should I even go out? Okay? Ham radio is fun. I get out in fresh air. My lower anatomy is not big and wide. Okay? I respect every activator, because if they weren't out there, it'd be pretty boring talking about Geritol and all these other crazy net things that are going on now. Wing nuts. I guess we all have something different to talk about. But I just ask you as a hunter, if you want to chase individual activators, maybe download that ham alert, set the trigger up for their call sign. So whenever that activator activates and is on the air, that you know it, you get the alert, you can go chase them. And each activator has something to offer to every hunter. Each activator has something to offer every hunter. Repeat offender, operator to operator, park to park, working toward kilos, okay? Working toward eagles, getting their first certificate for working 10 contacts, working their first time on 6 meters or 12 meters, working their first time on AM. There's so many things that your activators that are out there are contributing to Parks on the Air, to the hunters. Lastly, every activator is a hunter. The same when you and I make contacts with activators. Hopefully we'll be in a position to have the spotting page up so we don't have to ask them what their park number is. So we don't have to ask them, what is your call sign? Okay? Because we have the facilities there generally to see where they're at, to know what their call sign is. Okay? Respect the activator, because without them, you and I, as hunters, would be probably chatting to ourselves about other things. If we did that, sometimes when you run out of words, you just quit chatting. Take the time, thank an activator, take a moment, plan to become an activator, and if you never have and you're crazy enough to do it and you go out and become an activator, get up with me and tell me how you enjoyed it. Because there is a big difference between being a hunter than being an activator. And both parts need each other. Courtesy, respect. Very simple. Give your call once or twice. You don't have to keep jumping over the top because you want to be ahead of the line. I'll give you a little secret about me. If you follow me and you work me, you're going to learn this real quick, and I tell you publicly, and I'll tell you here. First is last, last is first. Very simple. When I take a paper log and list, I'm writing down every partial. I don't care if I get the full. It don't make a difference. A lot of them I'll remember because I've worked many of you many times. But I'm going to take that list. And when I get to the bottom of it, I'm going to start there and go back up the list. So all you 5-9 stations with a KW or whatever it took to get there are going to be last. Work my system. Work how I work. And if you're working other operators, if they're picking the first 2 letters of the call, time it right, or tail-ended at the end. And some activators, the first one they hear, they don't hear the rest. They shut it off. Every activator's different. You hunters have a task in front of you to monitor, listen how the activators you're attempting to work operate, and then work their style. You work their style, you'll get in. And pileups, 4 years ago, we didn't have the pileups we got today. 4 years ago, we didn't have 60,000 parks either. Nor did we have as many people that are enjoying the hobby of chasing parks with parks on the air. For those of you that went to the Hamvention in Xenia, Ohio, Dayton area, the rooms were full for the forums. Again, not one forum, not 2 forums. I think they were starting or going to start a 3rd forum next year because the popularity of something fun is growing, which means there's more personalities and more people sharing in what we do. Hunters, I ask you to think about the activators you're trying to work and even respect your fellow man. Be courteous. Be courteous, that's all. Thank you for your time. I apologize for those you're going to drop because it doesn't concern you. All of us work together. None of us are going to get ahead without each other. 73s, November Charlie 4 X-Ray Lima, North Carolina for extreme lovers. I'm not. Just Dom. Until our next video. May God bless.